Hello and welcome to this video, the second part of the Arabic alphabet. In video part 1 we talked about the first 7 letters in the Arabic alphabet and how do they look in the words in the beginning, at the middle, at the end. Alif, Ba, Ta, Tha, Jim, Ha, Kha. In the second part we're gonna talk about Dal, Dhal, Ra, Zai, Sin, Shin, Sad, and Dad. And these 8 letters, since they are similar, we're gonna talk what's their name and how to pronounce them and how do they look in the middle of the word, at the beginning and at the end. And also we're gonna mention what's their equivalent in English. Now, just to remind you about the 3 vowels that we talked about last time, because when we're going to start the part of Arabic words and forming a sentences, this will be really important to always keep in mind Alif, which is A, Waw, which is O, and Ya, which is E. So we have A, O, E, the 3 vowels in the Arabic alphabet. Now, for us to start the second part of the alphabet, let's start with Dal. Dal, or double A, Dal. That's the name of the letter and it's pronounced as D. And for you to draw it, it's just a corner. It can be right angle, or you can just make it a little bit sharp, and that will be Dal. And we're gonna say later on how do they look like at the beginning of the word and at the middle and at the end, because here we have so many letters that they actually look similar. So we have Dhal. Dhal is just similar to Dal. I will say that it's not Zal, but it's Dhal. It's more of TH plus Z, and it will has this sound that comes from the tip of your tongue, Dhal, and it will be pronounced as the, like th and z, the. And it's just like a corner, an angle, and then a dot at the top. Then we have Ra. Ra. And it is R. It pronounced as R. And it just an arc. Like this. This is an arc. Or you can make it like this, 3. That will be R. Then we have Zai. We have an R with a dot on top, and that will be Zai. It's similar to Z, yeah. It's the closest to Z. Zai. Just an arc with a dot, a part of a circle, and just a dot. Just remember, from right to left. And then we have Sin. Sin, I prefer it like this. Sin, it's S. So Sin, a straight line and then half a circle. That's Sin. It's really simple. Half a circle and straight line and half a circle. You might find Sin in different shape. You might find Sin like this, or you might find it like this. It's the same Sin. And later on, as I said, since it's similar with other letters, I'm gonna say how it's look like in the middle and at the end, and at the beginning of the word. Now Sin. After Sin we have Shin. sh, and that's how it's pronounced. Sheen is similar like seen with 3 dots on top. So we have seen with 3 dots, it's became sheen. Seen, sheen. Now after that we have sad. I don't think there is an equivalent English for sad, and it's pronounced as sah. It's like a thick S with sah. So sad is like a loop and then a circle. A loop and a circle. A loop and a circle. You don't make a circular loop because that will confuse people with other letters. Make a loop like that on this direction, more than much wider than it has on height. So that will be sad. So the loop and then the circle, the loop. Now here is something I'm drawing because this sad has this slot here. It should have one of these. Otherwise people will not be able to recognize sad. Just make like this and then go for the loop, and that will be sad. So you have a loop, a small slot, and then the circle. Now after sad we have dad. Dad, it's same as sad but with a dot. So we have dad. Now dad is similar like D but a little bit also thick coming from your throat, dad. And that's dad. Oh sorry, I said the word here. Dad, similar to sad and with a dot. So you have a loop, remember, like not a circular loop, and then a slot, and then a circle and a dot. So that's dad. So these are the 4 alphabets for today. Now for us to be able to recognize these letters in the middle of the word, here I'm gonna go back again to remember the letters that we learned. Dal, Zal, Ra, Zay, Sin, Sheen, Sad, Dad. Now as you can tell, Dal and Zal look the same. R and Z, Ra and Zai also the same. Sin and Sheen the same. Sad and Dad the same. And in order to look how they look like in the middle and the front and at the end of the word, also these are the same group and these are the same group. So we can start with Dal. Here is Dal at the beginning of the word. The beginning of the word, because Dal doesn't connect from the left side, which is the side that's connected to the other word, but it connects with the from the letter before it. So that's mean when it's come in the middle of the word, it's became like this. This is the connection, and this is Dal, and this is the letter before it. And at the end of the word as well, it's Dal like this with the connection with the letter before it. Remember, Dal and Dal doesn't connect with the letter behind them, only the letter before them. Ra and Zain are also the same. Here is the connection with the letter before them, and here is Ra. Here is the connection before them, and here is Dal. So that's how they look in the middle and at the end of the word. And at the beginning of the word, yes, you guessed it, they look just like normal because they don't really connect with the letter after them. Now for sin, shin, sad and dad, it's really much simpler. Sin and shin will look like this at the beginning of the word, and then here will come any letter after them. Doesn't really matter. So here's how they look. No need for the half circle. I guess you can't say it as a rule. If a letter has a half circle in its structure as a letter, you don't really put it when it's used in the middle or at the beginning of the word. So this is the scene. This is the scene at the beginning, and this is the scene at the end, in the middle. Here's the connection. Here is a connection with the previous letter, and just look like this. Or sometimes you will find it look like this: 3 slots and then continue. For example, a sail. So that's the scene, and it's in the middle of the word. Sama, that's the scene, and that's the middle of the beginning of the word. Same as Shino, the only one difference that it will has the 3 dots on top of it. Sad and Dad are also the same. At the beginning, the loop, the slot, and then continue to the letter after it. In the middle, it will be, this is the connection coming from the letter before, and this is the Sad, and then it continue to the letter afterward. For example, the name Isam. Here it is. Here is the Sad, and here it's connecting with the one before and the one after. Of course, if you're gonna write it properly, everything should be on the same line. Here you go. Here is the letter, which is, as you remember from, oh no, we haven't talked about this one. This is gonna be in part 3. This is Ain. This is the letter before, and this is Alif at the middle of the word. But since Alif doesn't connect with the letter behind it, as you remember from part 1, that's how it's appear. And that's the Sad, how it's look in the middle of the word. Now Sin, Shin, Sad and Dad, and how do they look at the end of the word? They just look the same. They look the same as you write them now, or as they're written normally. Now just with a connection with the letter before, if there is a connection. For example, Shams, that means sun. This is Sheen at the beginning, and this is Seen at the end. Also Musbah, but this is Sad at the middle. Oh, funny enough, I can't think of a Sad at the end. Bas, which is bus. As you can see, this is at the end of the word, but since Alif or A is not connected with it, so it's just stand by itself. So Bas, actually Bas is a good example because we learned all these letters now. This is Ba from last lesson, and this is Alif, and this is Sad. So this is Bas, and when you put these letters together in order to form Bas, Ba will be like this, Alif will be like this because it's in the middle and it doesn't connect with the one behind it, and then Sad just sit next to them just like this, and that will be letter 1, letter 2, letter 3, and here you recognize Bas, and you recognize what kind of letter and how to spell it. Bas, B-A-S, Bas. And these are the second section of the alphabet. The third part will continue the other letters: Tah, Dha, Ain, Ghain, Fa, and Qaf. See you in next video. Thank you.